And we're back. Not too off schedule. I'm glad I got back to my computer on time. And I hope some of you learned a thing or two about thermostats, as I did not know I was still screen sharing. So get to see a little bit of what I get to deal with today. It is 1:37 a.m., my rebels. I hope you guys are having a good evening, sleeping well, or having a good afternoon, wherever you are. Yes, good morning, rebels and free channers. Once again, we are starting a new show. It is 1:41 a.m., September 14th, Mountain Standard Time. All the links are posted to join the panel. Links in the description and in the site chat. Go ahead and jump on in. The water's just fine. And my house is getting nice and toasty that I got my thermostat working. Yes. I was watching this Creative Commons shared video earlier, and I only got about halfway through, so I'm going to go ahead and watch the rest of it. I'll post the link out in chat if anybody's interested in watching the first half, about 13 minutes or so that I already saw. So I just wanted to check out the rest since it's a little late and people are sleeping until someone jumps in. I'll just share this with you guys. Good morning.
Let's show you on Google Earth, just so you believe me. Here's our globe model, San Francisco to Washington, D.C. Okay. Right about there. Yeah, see, 2,451. San Francisco's here, Washington's there. You can see at the very bottom, 38 degrees. It's, you know, roughly, there's a few, it may be a few miles off or so, but they're both at about 38 degrees north latitude, 52 degrees from the North Pole. And it is, this one here is 122 degrees longitude. And this one here is about 77 degrees longitude. And 122 minus 77 is 45. So that's a 45-degree angle here in this Google Earth here. Right here it says it's 2,451 miles, which is exactly what this is times 3. Now, why isn't that? I should say 2,451. I think it's rounding. There's some fractions in there, some decimals that I'm not showing. So it's the same answer. But this, now, is this using nautical miles? No, this is using English miles. I'm using nautical miles for this entire thing. This is basically the flat Earth mapped out on an Excel sheet. All the distances, circumference, radius, diameter, everything. And I'm getting the same exact number. So nautical miles equals standard miles right here. We just proved it right here. Now over large bodies of water, I think they, you know, they fudge the numbers quite a bit. So this globe, you know, who knows? I mean, I think this is probably true because it's over a continent like that. But when you start to measure distances between over the ocean and stuff, they can easily fudge those numbers. Now I'll show you another interesting thing. So they tell us it's 5,400 nautical miles from the equator to the North Pole. Okay, over this curve here, or one of these lines. Okay, so now when you look at the Earth from the top down, what do you think? What edge do you think you would see? What do you think? There's a little yellow line here. I don't know if you can see it. What line do you think that is? Should that be the equator? Actually, that's the Tropic of Cancer. And that's just, you know, that's just an observation I saw, which I thought was kind of interesting. So what I think, because on my, according to these calculations, so yeah, I used 5,400 miles, nautical miles, from the equator to the North Pole. But there, if you do that, the circumference you get is about 34,000 miles. Now the Freemasons tell us it's only 25,000 miles. 25,000 shows up here at the Tropic of Cancer. At this line, same line you see around the edge if you look at the globe from a top down. So maybe what they did, let's look at the flat Earth. They just took this circle here and they folded the rest of the world underneath it, right here at the trop at 23.5 degrees north of the equator. They said, okay, that's our main, that's going to be the northern hemisphere, and then everything else they tucked in underneath it. So I think that's what they did. So they tell us it's a 4,000 mile radius, but that's actually what it is at the Tropic of Cancer. So all these numbers they give us for the equator are actually the Tropic of Cancer numbers, and it all works out mathematically. And you can see that even going from DC to San Francisco, it works out perfectly on my sheet. So you can see here they basically fold the southern hemisphere, they folded that underneath, and all these longitude lines just don't even make sense on the globe. You know, now there's certain flights that you can do and certain flights you cannot do. You know, you can, I'll look at that another time, but all you got to do is figure out the exact distance and see if, you know, average, the longest flights seem to be around 14 hours. They're pretty rare, but I think they do exist. If a plane flies at 500 miles an hour average times 14 miles, it's about a 7,000 miles distance. So anything over 7,000 miles away from each other is pretty doubtful that you can make those flights. And you can look on the flightradar.com or something. You can see all the millions of flights in the northern hemisphere all the time. And there's really barely any at all going between continents in the southern hemisphere. Now they'll tell you, well, we just don't have enough GPS trackers. That may be true because there's just so much ocean down here. But these longitude lines, another thing they tell us too is that you can't measure longitude. You can only measure it in time. which makes sense in a flat Earth. But if Earth was really this spinning ball, why couldn't you measure, start at some line, the meridian or whatever you want to call it. Here's a, and just start there and measure. They say you can't even really measure this in miles or something. Well, why not? It's the same shape this way as it is this way, right? That's because on a flat Earth, I mean, you would have to measure it using the arc, which you can do, and the circumference, which is what this map essentially does. We can figure out this curved line. That's what these numbers show here. And you notice they don't even give us a straight line, even from San Francisco to DC. It's a curved line. It's an arc, So they're basically giving us this curved line arc around a circumference. So it's not the arc of a globe like they're giving us. Well, it's an arc because of the curvature of the Earth. Well, no, it's actually an arc because of the curvature of the circle on a flat Earth, right? So a straight line would be slightly shorter. The real distance, if you drove in a straight line, your odometer, if there's a straight road, it would be shorter than the numbers they actually give us. So I'm still working on the new calendar where I'll put every single day of the year, and then you can actually look at the speed of the sun. So today is around, it's basically August 9th. Sun is 1,241 miles per hour, because that's how long one 15-degree section is on this map above it. So I think there's a lot of things we can use this Excel sheet for to expand upon. It's not that hard to make. Just put the degrees going down, increased by 1 every time. Radius increases by 60 miles for each degree. Diameter is twice that much, and the circumference is simply diameter times pi. And then you divide the circumference by 24 to get the length of this 15-degree section, because 360 divided by 24 is 15. So that's, and then this is just 1 degree of longitude is that many miles. So that's why I believe the Freemasons use the compass as their logo or their symbol. Everywhere you go, there's a compass and a ruler. So, obviously the compass is used to for geometry on a circle. And this world is essentially a flat circle, mainly because the sun spins around in a circle, melts the ice. If the sun didn't go all the way down to the Tropic of Capricorn, say it stopped at the equator or something, you'd have a lot more ice in here because it just wouldn't be getting sunlight. There's a good chance that Antarctica is the largest landmass in the Earth. So I'm guessing it goes in about 1,200 miles. All right, so I'll be back with some more updates. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, so the Foucault pendulum, often used to prove the spin of the Earth on its axis. And the premise is that you suspend a pendulum that's free to spin in any direction, and you swinging, and the spin of the Earth below the pendulum is measured on some sort of measuring device, in this case a compass. And from an observer, it appears over a certain time period, dependent upon where you are on the Earth, the pendulum seems to be moving around, in this case at the North Pole, clockwise. If we now traverse to the South Pole, you'll see that the opposite happens, and it indeed goes anti-clockwise. If you were to set one at the equator, then the swinging motion of the pendulum would indefinitely remain aligned, since it is always going to be the same with respect to the spin of the Earth on its axis. An extremely important requirement for the pendulum to be effective is for the bob to be as massive as possible. They're usually lead with brass coating to make them extremely heavy. You'd struggle to pick one of these things up. So the more massive the object, the bob, the better the pendulum effect will be. So in order for the pendulum to work effectively, it requires a really tall building to suspend it from. Typically 15 meters upwards is ideal, but the longer the better. And they do appear to exist in the northern and in the southern hemisphere. And they do indeed, by all accounts, spin anti-clockwise in the southern hemisphere and clockwise in the northern hemisphere. It's pretty difficult to, or time consuming to actually verify this, because you'd have to be stood there for hours on end to see any meaningful change. But I've got no reason to doubt they work. And they're said to work using the Coriolis effect, or the Coriolis effect acts upon them. So these were first publicly demonstrated in February of 1851 in the Paris Observatory. So let's start in Paris, and we'll draw a line, a yellow line up to the North Pole, and the red line represents the rotational direction of the Earth to the east. We'll put on there the pendulum, a much larger pendulum, and the two balls, the orange balls, represent the extremities of the swing of the pendulum. Notice they are aligned with the north. So as the Earth rotates to the east, the pendulum wants to stay in the direction that it was originally swung, and the North Pole is still pointing north. So if you measure the angular difference between the first point and the second point, shown in green, you'll find that the angular speed is proportional to the sign of the latitude. Meaning if you were kidnapped and flown to a secret location and put in a room with only a Foucault's pendulum, a clock and a calculator, you should be able to determine exactly the latitude that you're at on the Earth. Now, some Foucault pendulums, like the one in this picture, they have the 4 cardinal points marked on them, and some have the individual degrees, the 360 degrees in between as well. My point being that the effects of the Foucault pendulum aren't just confined to the room that the pendulum's within. For instance, that north line there will
There's no satellites out in space, not a trace. There's no man on the moon, not this year. If we could even go there at all. Maybe this universe of us is very small. Let's talk about the Van Allen bells. We might as well. The fact that they can't see stars from out in space. They fell from grace when they died in outer space. It's all that lasts. It's all that lasts. They fell from grace when they died in outer space. It's all that lasts. It's all that lasts. They're stealing your mind. You find that funny? The ISS, all ESM is all been lies, all been lies. They're underwater, baby. Tell your sons and daughters that it's all been lies, 'cause it's all been lies. NASA never went to the moon. It was Hollywood, it's Disneyland. It's just a bunch of buffoons, monkeys and suits. Yeah, man, it's all been lies, it's all been lies. They fell from grace when they died around space. It's all been lies.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent, and I'm doing a quick video on what I consider to be a flat earth ally, and that would be The Atlantic magazine, more specifically a writer named Sam Kriss, K-R-I-S-S, who published a recent article called, and it sounds like it's an anti-flat earth article, called Flat Earthers Have a Wild New Theory About Forests. What it means to believe that real trees no longer exist. And he's very well spoken, very articulate, and so you're going to have to bear with me because he uses vocabulary that I do not use on a regular basis. So let's just get right to it. I'm going to read the article in its entirety, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So it starts out with, something tremendous is happening. Over the last few weeks, without too many of its globe-headed detractors noticing, a surprisingly vast community on the tattered fringes of intellectual orthodoxy is in turmoil. A bizarre new theory has turned the flat Earth upside down. The flat Earth is still flat, but now it's dotted with tiny imitations of the truly enormous trees that once covered the continents and which, in our deforested age, we can hardly even remember. I've always been mildly obsessed with the Flat Earth Truth movement, the sprawling network of people utterly convinced that the world has been lied to for centuries about its own physical shape. The particulars differ, but here everyone takes it as a given that a conspiracy reaching from your first school teacher to NASA to the metaphysical beyond has deluded humanity, making us believe that we're nothing more than something that grew on a rock, a layer of biological grease moldering on the surface of a ball suspended in empty space when we're actually living on a flat plane. Part of this fascination is anthropological. Once, if you wanted to encounter an entirely different ontological system, you had to probe deep into jungles and deserts, pith helmet capping your Western arrogance. Now, with the peculiar cosmology of capitalist production subsuming an entire planet into its logic, mythological worlds are increasingly homogenized. Oof. And all that difference and weirdness is no longer geographically extensive. If you want to encounter very different realities, you can find them online, and each time the world reveals itself to be a little richer than you'd thought. Still, among all the bizarre, self-enclosed universes the internet has to offer, gold standard bores, UFO chasers, people who believe the cartoons are real in a nearby dimension, or that the secret rulers of the world are betraying their existence by leaving little clues on the currency. The flat earthers are special. Flat Earth insists on the primacy of direct experience. Look at the horizon. Really look and try to see the curve against abstract domination. It's an imaginative protest against the stupidity of our actual dreary sphere. I've written elsewhere, in an era where so much of the world is disenchanting and so much of social existence is already a given, you will have your job, you will have your life, you will be exploited, and then you will die. There are people who can dream the earth itself into a different shape. But lately, there's been a change. Something new and furious is growing in the community. No forests on flat Earth is an incredible new theory proposed only last month. Its claim is grand, counterintuitive, and beautiful. We were lied to. Our flat Earth has no forests. Thousands of people are ready to believe it. This might prove to be important. You can't understand our reality without understanding those dark and secret places where it's denied. New discoveries in mainstream science just tell us about the physical universe. Elements in the conspiracy theory fringe tell us what's happening to ourselves. No forests on flat Earth might be the future of weirdness, and it's utterly magnificent. The response to the video has been huge since it was first posted by a Crimean man calling himself, I'm not going to pronounce it, "There are no forests on flat Earth, wake up," has been viewed hundreds of thousands of times, spawned hundreds of blog posts in the broader flat earthosphere, and at the time of this writing has gathered over 10,000 response videos. There's been an explainer, a decoding, a biblical exegesis, a roundtable discussion, in fact, many roundtable discussions, and inevitably accusations that the precipitous popularity of the video is proof that it's all a plot by the control grid to distract from the real truth. Unfortunately, the No Forests on Flat Earth video is also nearly an hour and a half long. You should absolutely watch the whole thing. But if you're not the kind of dedicated weirdo who wants to waste a decent chunk of their day watching ludic conspiracy theory pseudo-geology, I'm willing to give you a summary. We start with a montage of forests, peaceful scenes studded with sunlight, the kind of pictures just waiting for some inspirational quote to be plastered on top of them. We've all seen forests. We all know what they are. How could anyone claim that they don't exist? But our narrator knows better. They make us think that this is a forest, he tells us, when you are actually looking at 30-meter bushes. After watching this video, you'll reverse your concept of forest by 360 degrees. This isn't a forest at all, only diminished imitation. Thousands of years ago, a cataclysmic event destroyed 99% of the Earth's biosphere, and when it happened, it took away the real forests. Real trees are nothing like their stunted cousins, the miserable perishing scraps of wood that we see today. They were truly vast, hundreds of kilometers tall, magical organisms that sustained a total living ecology of the flat Earth. These things were the anchor of a beautiful world that has now vanished forever. And how does he know? Because everywhere around us, we can see their stumps. The first piece of evidence is Devil's Tower in Wyoming, USA, a great geological stub rising out of the rolling lowlands on all sides, 400 meters of towering igneous rock that may have been formed as a volcanic plug rising out of the ground as a sedimentary stone that surrounded it, slowly eroding away. Or so they want you to think. See its intricate hexagonal columns curving up in a way that looks almost organic. See the perfection of its sheared flat summit. Doesn't this remind you of something? For several minutes, our guide to this new reality shows us images of mesas, plateau, flat-top mountains, chunks of isolated cliffs, placed next to pictures of astoundingly similar-looking tree stumps. Every time the same challenge. Name 10 differences. You can't. There are only 2 differences, material and size. These things look the same. They are the same thing. Not just mesas. Ordinary mountains are contrasted with the shattered, splintered remnants of trees. The Giant's Causeway in Ireland is revealed to be a petrified organic structure because, we're told, cooling lava simply does not assume these shapes. There is no such thing as a mountain. There is no such thing as inert rock. Everything we walk on was once living wood. The mountain ranges were once tremendous forests reaching up to their stellar canopy, providing a link between humanity and the celestial spheres. The earth was really flat, but some malignant power cut all these trees down using vast machinery, and ever since then they've been gouging into the corpse of the earth, mining the dead trees for precious minerals, carving deep quarries that we, in our ignorance, call gorges and canyons. You can see the monstrous tracks leading away from the Antarctic valleys. We think they're natural. We even think that traces of our destruction are somehow beautiful. At this point, the video starts to lose focus. The narrator alleges that a nuclear war took place in the 19th century, that large bathtubs are proof of the technological complexities of previous ages, that volcanoes are massive slag piles boiling with reactive chemical waste. It's nonsense, but it's worth thinking about why it's had the impact it has. In the roundtable discussion, various theorists rhapsodize about how deeply the video resonated with them. They laugh that mainstream geology might just buckle under the weight of this incredible new research. There is something that resonates against both the panpsychism of hippie ecology, the bleary-eyed invocations of some dismally all-encompassing Mother Earth, and the pedantic materialism of most sciences as they're actually practiced. No Forest on Flat Earth proposes a kind of hylothanatism, a pessimism for our own weary age. This world was once alive, everything was once beautifully connected, but not anymore. This Earth has been dead for millennia. What we think of as progress is just the rot spreading through the cadaver of the world. There are mythic essences here. Beyond the familiar world trees of North cosmology, the notion of a world built on a corpse has always fascinated people. Babylonian mythology, for instance, has the entire universe butchered out of the body of Tiamat, the primordial mother. Its mode of argument, this thing looks like the other thing, therefore they're the same thing, is also familiar. In the order of things, Foucault describes the medieval episteme. It was resembled has a very no forest sadness. for the loss of this world mean interlinking resemblances in the 16th century, lamenting that there is nothing now that still recalls even the memory of the being. Nothing except perhaps literature. The experience of modernity is one of a lost unity. And with an emerging capitalism came a world no longer required to be explicable, only fungible. This lost world is not just something that falls away with modernity, as Freud points out. The formation of the conscious mind is similar. The ego is a precipitate of lost objects. Freud occasionally talks about an oceanic feeling of unity, a remnant of very early childhood, when the mind is unable to distinguish itself and the outside world. In the oral stage of psychosexual development, the child considers its mother's breast to be as much a part of itself as its own body. We are what we are because something else went away. And when we become ourselves, we lose the vastness of everything else. There's a sense in which no forest could be seen as a way of getting this feeling back. If you believe in giant trees, if you follow the chain of resemblances back to its megadendric origin, then you too can participate in the unity of all things on our flat earth. But at the same time, it refuses the impulse to simply regress back to childhood. The trees are gone forever, and we're not getting them back. We mourn for them, but the question of what we can possibly do now is unmasked and unanswerable. No forest doesn't give us cheap and easy solutions. Instead, simply and starkly provides a map and mirror for our abandonment.
Wow, he really stumbled through that one, didn't he? Lots of big words there, Mr. Sergeant. I shared this article when it came out 3 days ago, and nobody was interested in it. It was so good. I hope somebody clicked it and read it, but I kind of doubt it. What do y'all think?
Did he say essences when he meant essence?
You know, he said a lot of things, but I think he meant
Yeah.
something. he said at the beginning, he's like, there's a lot of words here that I don't ever use, so I think he just,
Oh, bless him.
yeah, winged it. I could think of a couple like homogenized and I don't know. Words are words.
I'm terrible for picking up on them. I really am. It's good fun.
Well, you know, it's different when we read it in our head anyway, you know. It's like no big deal. But, you know, I mean, I've never tried reading out loud, you know, recorded for people.
be
So I don't know, I
saying
could
there's
just
no-
stumble on everything.
Don't be saying there's no right and wrong on flat Earth.
Oh, there's definitely right and wrong.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But word pronunciation, I mean, language is organic and alive. It changes all the time, so.
That's very true. I heard a Pillbox mentioning that earlier. I was quite impressed.
Oh, was he? I thought he was saying about how they use language to actually change the meanings of what they actually are.
I listened to about 10% of what he says.
Yeah, I was on the phone, and so I kind of piped in just at the end there when I did, so I missed a lot of it. I know you're out there.
Yes, good morning or good evening, afternoon, wherever it is.
It's good morning. We are, yeah. I suppose it's evening somewhere. Maybe in Alaska. It's still Tuesday. So, Yeah, not too many Flat Earth Creative Commons videos. Apparently they're all FREECHAN, most of them.
Hey, I was impressed. I think it was like maybe 78 videos that I've got. Just total nonsense, wacky stuff. But 73 of them were able to go on the Creative Commons, so that's not bad.
Nice, good going, good job there. To anybody who's just tuning in, we were discussing how everybody should be making their videos, and that way we can get around all this bullshit copyright crap that YouTube is laying on people, and you know, separate the shills from the real people. No, it's not fair. You know, people want to make some money off of their videos, whatever, that's their choice, but I don't, I'm not, and I don't want other people making money off of my videos. If I'm not making money off of them, then they surely shouldn't. So I'll give a real quick demonstration. If you have videos and you want to switch them all over to Creative Commons, YouTube will do the check for you. And if you have any music on there or video on there that is copyrightable, it won't give it that Creative Commons tag. Otherwise, it will. And so you can just go to your video manager, click on all, and then click on actions, and then select Creative Commons. And if it doesn't make it, if it does make it, you'll get this cool little symbol here attached to all your videos. And if it doesn't pass, like here I have a couple of copyright notices for some song snippets, you know, it'll put the C instead. So I've won a whole bunch of my disputes and I keep doing it, so I'm not gonna quit. I don't even know what half of these are, but I need to go through them.
Does this work the same way when we're searching for stuff? You know, like say people go to search for flat and then they go to live, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Does that have the same like functionality with Creative Commons, I wonder?
Yes, actually that's what I was just doing here.
Oh, sorry, Yvette.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's why I'm playing the videos that I'm playing, is because I did that search. And so filters, it's actually right next to live. It's above it by 2, Creative Commons.
Oh, very good.
Yes.
No more dead air.
Right. So we could just go through and catch up ourselves, you know, because I feel a little behind. And this one, there was a documentary here. Where is it? Like 15 minutes long. This one here, The True Size of the Earth. That was really good, actually. He had a lot of compelling information to share. How the Earth is actually probably about 34,000 miles in circumference.
Ah, so it's grown.
And explained why and how he thinks like they made the Earth round from a flat Earth. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Let's get it on.
Yeah, you want me to play it again?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure, why not?
This will be my 5th flat Earth video in as many weeks.
Yeah, I've actually gotten a couple under my belt. Like I haven't seen like any in months, literally months. So it's kind of interesting to see what people are coming up with, and it's nice to hear that it's not the same old shit, you know, just being regurgitated. Oh, I need to switch my mic over, so pardon me while I do that.
Welcome to Mystery History. The truth will set you free.
Welcome to Mystery History. I'm going to show you how I think the Freemasons deceived us when they created the imaginary globe model that they tried to prove. This is like 500 years ago. These guys like Newton and Copernicus, Galileo, they tried all these experiments and proofs and stuff, and they all failed. They didn't prove a globe at all, but yet they continually pushed this globe worldview, and most deceptions involve pride. So somehow human beings latched onto this globe thing thinking, hey, we're now superior. We're so intelligent. We can understand all these really complex theories that we don't really understand, but those scientists understand it. These really smart guys in some room somewhere with a lot of books, and these guys understand what's going on. So they push this globe view in primary schools, especially. I remember being young, and the basic premise was that people who used to believe in the flat Earth were really stupid. They believed they were going to fall off the edge, and now that we are better, we're more evolved, we're more advanced, and we know the truth. We're smarter than those people. And if you ever believed in a flat Earth, you would just be really stupid. So that's what happens today when you tell people, oh yeah, the world is actually flat. They immediately go back to that indoctrination, that imprinting we received in the indoctrination centers, otherwise known as elementary school. And the teachers didn't know either. They're just doing their job. They're just teaching what's in the textbook and all this stuff. And all this is controlled at the top, by the Illuminati / Freemason / government that controls this world in our minds, essentially. So we've all been brainwashed since birth to believe in something that we didn't really understand, that we didn't really question. The big part of it is the psychology of deception, which involves pride, it involves gullibility, it involves indoctrination, and even imprinting the young people. So this is the classic example. I mean, that could be a whole different topic, but today I want to look at some numbers I've been working on. So where should we start? So I got this Excel sheet. And what I've done, I'll go to the top here. So I got the degrees. And what I'm doing is trying to come up with a system that makes sense. Because anytime you base a flat Earth model off of a globe, you're kind of basing it off of something that just doesn't even exist or make sense. And I'll kind of show you how I think they created the globe from the flat Earth. I do believe the Freemasons know, in fact, I know this for a fact, they know the Earth is flat. And they're deceiving us. Why do you think their sign, their symbol is a compass and ruler? Compass is used for circular geometry. They know what's going on, and they know how important these circles are, circumference, arc, all these kind of things. We're going to get into this a little bit. So even this Gleason map has a few mistakes, actually. And I do like the fact he divides this into 24 sections of longitude, which are, there's 360 degrees in a circle. Divide that by 24 hours in a day. It's every 15 degrees is 1 hour. It takes the sun 1 hour to go across these. And I have calculated exactly how fast the speed of the sun does move. We can do that with basic, as long as you know the radius. Really, that's all you need. And that's what I've been trying to figure out. So I think I found out what the radius, diameter, and circumference of the world are, and at each, the equator, Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, and so on and so forth. So we can get a lot of basic information from but we have to know where to start and what numbers to use. The Freemasons have been trying to deceive us with these numbers the whole time. So that's what I'm working on, trying to wake up from the deception, especially these numerical and mathematical deceptions that they've inflicted upon the unsuspecting public, including myself. So the first mistake with the Gleason map is Australia obviously is much too large, about twice as large as it should be. Australia in actuality is about slightly smaller than the United States, but here it looks like it's twice as large. So that's some problems we have with this map in trying to figure out how far these continents in the southern hemisphere are from each other, because that's where we're going to find the biggest difference in the globe and the flat Earth maps are that the southern hemisphere just doesn't really make sense on the globe at all. And unfortunately, he used a globe model to make this one. So there's some other flat Earth maps out there where these continents appear to be the correct size, at least. They just shouldn't be this large. They're about twice as wide as they should be here in the southern hemisphere, which is unfortunate. But other than that, this is still a very useful map. Now let's look at my Excel sheet. I have this theory that the Freemasons have confused us with miles. So the nautical miles make perfect sense. They're really it's the perfect unit of measurement to use in a circle, in a circular world like this, a flat Earth, that's set out arranged in a circle. So 1 degree of latitude is 60 nautical miles. And 1 nautical mile is 1/60th of a degree. So there's 60 nautical miles in 1 degree of latitude. And I've just gone down, listed the degrees of latitude, and just keep adding 60 miles. And then you can figure out, so here the Arctic Circle, it's around 23.3 degrees. So that would give us around 1,400 miles. This is nautical miles, but I believe nautical miles may be the same as regular miles. They tell us 1 nautical mile equals 1.15 standard mile or English mile. The miles we use, in the United States and some other countries. But they may in fact be the same, because why would they be different? This is diameter. It's just twice as much as the radius. And then diameter times pi, we get our circumference. So at the Arctic Circle, it's around 8,800 miles, nautical miles, but it could be the same as miles. And then column F here is 15 degrees. It's basically one of these 24 sections. So at the Arctic Circle right here, that's about 367 miles, each one of these. And this is going to obviously get much longer as we go out in the circle. So, and this is 1 degree of longitude is about 24. Just 1 degree of longitude is about 24 miles at that particular latitude. And these circles get bigger. And the sun, we'll even look at how the sun, the path of the sun, the circumference gets larger and smaller, and the speed of the sun slows down and speeds up and things like that. So here's the Tropic of Cancer, which is this guy right here, and then the equator. And see, now I'm using the equators at 90 degrees. This makes more sense to me. On the globe, they put the equator at 0, but I'm starting 0 at the North Pole. Okay, and then Capricorn, Tropic of Capricorn down here, this line, that's at 113.5 degrees. And then we can get the radius, diameter, circumference. And basically, so right here, it's 1783. So one of these lines here between this one and this one, this is still 15 degrees. So you can see Australia is not, 4,000 miles across. It only takes 4 hours to fly across it. Plane goes around 500 miles an hour. So, you can do the math there, and that's 1 degree. And I've also put the dates here. So this is the speed of the sun, basically, which I guess I haven't filled out all the dates yet. I'm still working on that one. But basically, Tropic of Cancer, the sun is here. These are the longest days of the year in terms of daylight. So the Tropic of Cancer, June 21st. See, the speed of the sun is around 1,045 miles per hour. And that's basically what they tell us the Earth is spinning at. Okay, and so we got the radius is almost 4,000 miles. I got 3,990. Diameter almost 8,000 miles, and the circumference around 25,000 miles. They tell us the radius of the Earth at the equator is 4,000 miles, when in fact it's the Tropic of Cancer. They tell us the circumference of the equator is 25,000 miles, when in fact it is the circumference of the Tropic of Cancer. And someone might say, yeah, but you're using nautical miles and not regular miles. But I think that's the deception. I think regular miles don't even really exist. I think they've given us these things in miles, but in fact, they're actually nautical miles. And the speed of the sun makes perfect sense. All these numbers line up perfectly. And then you can see how the sun, so that's June 21st, the sun traveling around very slowly in a tight circle, but it still takes 24 hours. Then it speeds up as you go outside the circle over the next 90 days. It travels to the equator, and then 90 more days to the Tropic of Capricorn. So at the equator, the sun is spinning around 1,414 miles per hour. And at the Tropic of Capricorn, it's about 1,783 miles per hour. That's December 21st. And then it goes back. So January, February, March, and then this would be the same number here for March 21st. Then you got March, April, May, June, then you're back here at June. So it just reverses the same number. It would be the same exact numbers, but just in reverse order. And originally, I used 4,000 miles at the equator. And that's so that now basically I've shifted 4,000 miles to the Tropic of Cancer, but I started at the North Pole, going 60 nautical miles for every degree, which is what it is. Okay, so this is the math. And then we got the lonely old Arctic circle down here at roughly, I put it here at 156.3 degrees, which apparently is where it's at. So it's like, what, 23.7 or something, whatever degrees from the bottom from 180. And so we can see the circumference around there it's around 60,000 miles, the Antarctic circle. And then the actual edge. So we can see we got about 1,000 or 1,200 miles. If you're going to walk from the shoreline of Antarctica to the edge of the Earth, it would be about 1,200 miles. If that's, there's some assumptions here, right? If it goes out to 180 degrees. So this is all just basic math. There's about 15 to 20 degrees of ice here. But around here, if you're going to sail around here, it would be about 60,000 miles. And that is historically verified by numerous adventurers the explorers, basically. Captain Cook, these kind of guys, these explorers, they tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, and it took them a long time. And they ended up going about 60,000 miles. So that's what we have here, according to this math. So don't get too hung up on this nautical miles versus English miles. I think they're the same, and and I'll show you a proof of this, or at least a piece of evidence. There's two cities that are really easy to test and they're both over land, Washington, D.C. and San Francisco. They're at 52 degrees latitude, although on the globe it would say 38. It would say 38 degrees north of the equator, but for my purposes, I just use 52. It's the same thing. And you get 3120 for the radius, circumference here. So each section, each 15 degree section is 817 miles. And actually the degrees, it is a 45 degree angle from between each city. So we just multiply this 15 degree unit times 3, and we get 2,450. And let's show you on Google Earth, just so you believe me. Here's our globe model, San Francisco to Washington, D.C. Okay. Right about there. Yeah, see, 2,451. San Francisco's here, Washington's there. You can see at the very bottom, 38 degrees. It's, roughly, there's it may be a few miles off or so, but they're both at about 38 degrees north latitude, 52 degrees from the North Pole. And it is, this one here is 122 degrees longitude. And this one here is about 77 degrees longitude. And 122 minus 77 is 45. So that's a 45 degree angle. And in this Google Earth here, right here, it says it's 2,451 miles, which is exactly what this is times 3. Now, why isn't that? I should say 2,451. I think it's rounding. There's some fractions in there, some decimals that I'm not showing. So it's the same answer. But this, now, is this using nautical miles? No, this is using English miles. I'm using nautical miles for this entire thing. This is basically the flat Earth mapped out on an Excel sheet. All the distances, circumference, radius, diameter, everything. And I'm getting the same exact number. So nautical miles equals standard miles right here. We just proved it right here. Now, over large bodies of water, I think they fudge the numbers quite a bit. So this globe, who knows? I mean, I think this is probably true because it's over a continent like that. But when you start to measure distances over the ocean and stuff, they can easily fudge those numbers. Now, I'll show you another interesting thing. So they tell us it's 5,400 nautical miles from the equator to the North Pole. Okay, over this curve here, or one of these lines. Okay, so now when you look at the Earth from the top down, what do you think what do you think, what edge do you think you would see? What do you think? There's a little yellow line here. I don't know if you can see it. What line do you think that is? Should that be the equator? Actually, that's the Tropic of Cancer. And that's just, you know, that's just an observation I saw, which I thought was kind of interesting. So what I think, because according to these calculations, so yeah, I use 5,400 miles, nautical miles, from the equator to the North Pole. But if you do that, the circumference you get is about 34,000 miles. Now the Freemasons tell us it's only 25,000 miles. 25,000 shows up here at the Tropic of Cancer, at this line, same line you see around the edge if you look at the globe from a top down. So maybe what they did, let's look at the flat Earth. They just took this circle here and they folded the rest of the world underneath it, right here at the at 23.5 degrees north of the equator. They said, okay, that's our main, that's going to be the northern hemisphere, and then everything else they tucked in underneath it. So I think that's what they did. So they tell us it's a 4,000 mile radius, but that's actually what it is at the Tropic of Cancer. So all these numbers they give us for the equator are actually the Tropic of Cancer numbers, and it all works out mathematically, and you can see that even going from DC to San Francisco, it works out perfectly on my sheet. So you can see here they basically fold the southern hemisphere, they folded that underneath, and all these longitude lines just don't even make sense on the globe. You know, now there's certain flights that you can do and certain flights you cannot do. You know, you can, I'll look at that another time, and all you got to do is figure out the exact distance and see if, you know, average, the longest flights seem to be around 14 hours. They're pretty rare, but I think they do exist. If a plane flies at 500 miles an hour average times 14 miles, it's about a 7,000 miles distance. So anything over 7,000 miles away from each other is pretty doubtful that you can make those flights. And you can look on the flightradar.com or something, you can see all the millions of flights in the northern hemisphere all the time, and there's really barely any at all going between continents in the southern hemisphere. Now they'll tell you, well, we just don't have enough GPS trackers. That may be true because there's just so much ocean down here. But these longitude lines, another thing they tell us too is that you can't measure longitude, you can only measure it in time, which makes sense on a flat Earth. But if Earth was really this spinning ball, why couldn't you measure, you know, start at some line, you know, the meridian or whatever you want to call it. Here's the prime meridian. Just start there and measure. You know, they say you can't even really measure this in miles or something. Well, why not? It's the same shape this way as it is this way, right? That's because on a flat Earth, I mean, you would have to measure it using the arc, which you can do, and the circumference, which is what this map essentially does. We can figure out this curved line. That's what these numbers show here. And you notice they don't even give us a straight line, even from San Francisco to DC. It's a curved line. It's an arc. You know, so they're basically giving us this curved line arc around a circumference. So it's not the arc of a globe like they're giving us, well, it's an arc because of the curvature of the Earth. Well, no, it's actually an arc because of the curvature of the circle on a flat Earth, right? So a straight line would be slightly shorter. The real distance, if you drove in a straight line, your odometer, if there's a straight road, it would be shorter than the numbers they actually give us. So I'm still working on the new calendar where I'll put every single day of the year, and then you can actually look at the speed of the sun. So today is around, it's basically August 9th. The speed of the sun is 1,241 miles per hour, because that's how long one 15-degree section is on this map above us. So I think there's a lot of things we can use this Excel sheet for to expand upon. It's not that hard to make. The degrees going down, increase by 1 every time. Radius increases by 60 miles for each degree. Diameter is twice that much, and the circumference is simply diameter times pi. And then you divide the circumference by 24 to get the length of this 15-degree section, because 360 divided by 24 is 15. And so that's, and then this is just 1 degree of longitude is that many miles. So that's why I believe the Freemasons use the compass as their logo or their symbol. There's a compass and a ruler, so obviously the compass is used to for geometry on a circle, and this world is essentially flat circle, mainly because the sun spins around in a circle, melts the ice. You know, if the sun didn't go all the way down to the Tropic of Capricorn, it stopped at the equator or something, you'd have a lot more ice in here because it just wouldn't be getting sunlight. There's a good chance that Antarctica is the largest landmass in the Earth. So I'm guessing it goes in about 1,200 miles. All right, so I'll be back with some more updates. Thanks for tuning in.
So, what did you think about that? Oh, good morning, Stephen.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Getting up, getting showered, getting my joints rolled, getting ready to go to the cow patch. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm leaving in an hour. Yada yada.
Nice, nice. Well, we found some videos that we can play finally, and yeah, just catching up on a couple of theories out there, like this one. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
that's a good video.
Yeah. And it came out last month too. It has like 80,000 views, and he's not monetizing it. I thought that was nice. I think I'm only gonna watch videos that aren't that are Creative Commons anymore. That's my new standard. Yes. How about you, Rob? What did you think? Or are you still working on coffee? I think you might still be working on coffee. I think he's still working on coffee.
No, I was finding the tab. Yeah, I'm just under green tea now. I've changed my mind.
Oh,
yeah, that was a really good video, actually. Very interesting.
he's got the numbers to back it up. I mean, what more could a Glober ask for?
Sorry. I was saying, yeah, he's done it in front of us as well, so how could you argue?
Right. So yeah, there's some more proof for everybody.
Yeah, it don't matter how much proof you got. I mean, them damn ballers just ain't budging. So
That's all right.
maybe that's the creator hard at work, because maybe they just don't have the ability to see things the way they really are.
I find it suspicious that it's like the circle of the Earth, but they removed that and changed the words around.
In the Bible?
Yeah. A lot of them change it. A Spanish Bible that I have that's very, very old, they actually put the word orb in there instead of circle. Orb.
No way.
Yeah. I'm like, what? Fuck. Like, I literally like threw it on the floor after I saw that. I was like, no, thank you.
Yeah, that one ain't worth reading. I take a Bible, the first thing I do is check Genesis and see what term they're using for the firmament.
Oh, hello, Healthy. Let me get, oh, hold on. Let me get you here. I guess the trolls are probably. Oh, just showing some videos, talking about them, you know, since it's so quiet and they have everybody's, you know, attention. And yeah, people are just waking up over here. I know it's, what, afternoon there? Almost 3 p.m.?
Yeah, absolutely. It's almost 3 p.m. here. I'm guessing it's about 5 or 6 a.m. for Steven. Maybe he's waking up?
Yeah.
Yeah, close. It's almost 5 a.m. for him.
The only person I'm guessing is sleeping is Rob.
No, I'm wide awake, actually. It's almost 10 o'clock in the morning.
I'm surprised you're up so early.
You cheeky.
I'm just, it's so hot over here today. I planted like 100 trees today. I'm so tired.
Wow, 100 trees. That's good. Mango trees, I'm guessing?
It's a mix of mangoes and wood trees that are going to become wood in about 10 years.
Oh, I see. 4 trees.
I thought I'd make a little video about it because I don't know if a lot of people plant larger trees. Like a lot of people like to plant seeds, but I actually planted trees.
Yeah. Yeah, show us. Did you take some video?
Yeah, I mean, I took my ghetto version of how to plant a larger tree into the ground. You make a hole, and you just put it in. Yeah, I made a video.
And do you grow these trees like in some kind of indoor environment until they're, you know, like the seedlings or? Yeah.
No. I go to the nursery and I be like, you know, you guys got that, you know, that, like, for instance, I was getting something from Thailand, variation from Thailand. We don't have that here, and the nursery actually had it.
Nice.
But I do have, like, you know, little plants that I make for myself to plant elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But today it wasn't one of those days. I had to buy these plants. Yeah, it turns out that I can't put just whatever plant I want right next to any, like, a source of water, like a pond or something, because the leaves from the tree is going to eventually make the water acidic. And I had to, you know, get these mild type of trees. Or trees like, you know, like a coconut tree, you know, with they don't really drop any leaves.
Hmm. Oh, okay. Interesting. Things I've never. Mm-hmm.
Things I have to think about all the time.
Yeah, it's been so cold here. Like, we barely got like 2 months of summer, if that.
Really?
Yeah, because it just basically rained the entire month of August, and it's already dropping. The temperature's dropping every day. I mean, it's still warm during the day, but I mean, everything's already turning.
Ow! Holy shit!
So, even if we have like an Indian summer or whatever, you know, it's not gonna make up for it or anything. Might be like 1 more week of warmth. I don't see it in the days ahead, though. It's been raining every day here again still. Yeah, we've gotten so much rain. Our deserts are green. It's always a funny thing. Like, you always see this like fuzzy green moss-looking stuff, like, you know, when you're looking out into the desert, and it's just like interesting. It looks like a golf course.
When it rains, is it like even colder when it rains?
Oh yeah, it gets like 10 degrees colder like instantly. Like this.
I actually want some coldness right now, really.
I'm really sure you do. Yeah, I have my heater on, keeping my house about 72. I've got my flannel.
On, wow.
Yeah, even with the heater on, it's 72. It's probably cooler than it is there.
Yeah, it is. It's
yeah.
Terrible. It's in the hundreds today, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
I didn't measure it. I'm just saying, going by how it feels on my head. pretty damn hot, you know?
What's your altitude again? Do you know? In feet, by any chance?
I'm at 0 feet. I'm at sea level.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. For some reason, I thought you guys were like in the mountains.
The Himalayan mountains are, I guess, north of me. and they're not very far away. Like I could possibly go to somewhere and see the Himalayan mountains from where I'm at. So it's not too far, but I mean, we're nowhere near the hills elevation.
What are the altitudes of the Himalayan mountains?
I believe it surpasses 7,500, which is what I'm thinking you're at.
That's what I'm at, yeah.
Right? I've heard it goes beyond 8,000. Exactly.
See, and I always thought like, oh, the Himalayas, like, wow, they're, you know, huge, humongous mountains, and I'm sure they are. And I never think about our mountains being huge because we're already so high up. So when we see a big mountain, we're like, oh, whatever, you know. But it's like 13,000 feet, you know, and it's, you know, it's interesting. I never really was interested in all those things until just now. I became curious. So, yay, curiosity. I'm gonna have to look into that.
I mean, I try to think of things that are better at that altitude. Like, for instance, I had some friend Flagstaff, Arizona, which was 7,500 feet, and that went to my school, and they were actually Native Americans. But what's interesting is like when they practiced running track and field at a higher elevation, and then when they switched to a lower elevation, they did significantly better. Like they did far better than they had thought.
Okay, so I just looked it up real
you?
quick, and actually, like Mount Everest is 29,000 feet. Yeah.
29,000 feet?
Mm.
Mount Everest? 29,000 feet? Wait,
Yeah.
Isn't maybe that's just the top portion, right?
Well, I think
the
that's what they
bottom?
usually do. They check, they measure it by the summit, so it's going to be the peak.
So how is that the largest or the tallest mountain if you're already higher than that right now?
No, 29,000? No, I'm only at 7,500 or 8,000.
Oh, okay. You're at feet, and you were telling me about what was that? That was
No,
feet,
and that's
right?
at feet also, 29,000 feet.
So 29,000 feet, and you're at 7,000 feet, right?
8,000 feet.
Yeah, so you're higher than it.
8,000 feet isn't higher than 29,000 feet.
Absolutely, it is. Like one of them is 3,000 feet, the other one's 8,000 feet.
No, 29,000 and 8,000.
Oh, okay. My bad.
You're making me like, am I wrong? Like, do I forget how to count?
No, you're fine. You're fine. I just had a little bit of a brain fart.
Or were you thinking 80,000?
No, I was thinking 2,900 feet. You know?
Oh yeah, no, 29,000.
Yeah, not 100.
Right.
Oh yeah, wow. So it's much higher. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's kind of like mind-boggling. So that's definitely one of those, I guess,
So think about this. It's 29,000 feet. That's only like a couple thousand feet below your standard commercial airline height.
Which is normally
altitude.
What, like 34,000?
Like 32,000, even 30,000. It starts 30 to 32,000. Yeah, so it's not. If you're on Everest, all the planes would be like going by real close.
Or crashing into it, like that movie where they ate each other to stay alive.
Well, it was called Everest, wasn't it?
No, it was called Alive.
Movies like I've seen Cliffhanger, 128 Days.
Oh yeah,
a couple other ones.
When Nature Calls, Ace Ventura 2.
Ace Ventura 2. Oh my goodness. I used to love that guy, Jim Carrey.
I still
when I was growing up. You still do?
Mm-hmm.
You still like him?
I still like him. He's a weirdo. I like weirdos. What can I say?
Yeah. Well, guess why we know why you're here.
Now you know the company I keep. Tell me who your friends are, and I'll tell you who you are. It's true. It's true.
I'm gonna have to go back through the FREECHAN records or something and find out where Steven is playing his piano.
Well,
Because I've never
You know,
heard
I
you, buddy. I've
think a lot
been
better.
wanting to hear you.
yeah, but the piano's keys are messed up, so
It's
it's an
okay. I'm
electric.
not very musically inclined. I probably wouldn't know. I'd be like, oh, look, Mary had a little lamp.
Well, you'd be
What are you singing?
surprised.
Are you beating off an egg? Are you making an omelet?
No, I'm rolling joints.
No, you know what, Steven? I
Priorities.
mean,
He doesn't need to eat.
what's funny is I'm doing the same exact thing, Steven.
Well, I got to roll several because I have to ride 16 miles to the cow patch, and I don't want to have any paraphernalia on me. So I just carry joints.
And it's not paraphernalia, or they don't check your cigarette box?
Hell no, I'll run and drop that shit first.
Well, don't they go and
I don't-
like pick it up? Hey, you dropped this, motherfucker. Now I'm gonna pin you for
Yeah,
loitering as
but-
well,
Yeah, at that
or littering.
point,
I mean,
yeah, at that point they have to prove I threw it down there. So
have you memorized all that stuff? I mean, if I was living in the U.S., I'd memorize the stuff that. I'm
Well,
a
I-
priority interest holder and blah blah blah. All
I
those
have a
cool
recording
words.
with Officer, what is it, Miley, or I was out cutting a tower down an AT&T illegally, okay, cutting down an AT&T communication tower for scrap, and we had permission from the city to do that, but nobody could know about it. So one night, I found a scooter, a little razor scooter out there. And we had noticed that a lot of our metal had been taken, aluminum to be specific. And we're talking a couple 100 pounds of aluminum came up missing on our job site, right? And the police were notified that we were to be working there, okay? So the cops showed up, asked me, where did I get that razor from? I said, what do you mean? I found it right here. So, well, this is public property. That's not yours. They didn't know I was supposed to be out there cutting that tower up. I said, well, since we're on the subject matter of things coming up missing, I'm working on this job site. I've got a couple 100 pounds of aluminum missing, and I don't know where that cooler came from. Do you mind getting the fingerprints off of them and telling me who's out there? They went to back fucking tracking. We can't pull any fingerprints off that cooler to surface. And I had this all recorded on my phone. Now, the next time a motherfucker says, oh, well, you threw this joint down, we're going to check it for fingerprints, I got something for that. I got a quote from a police officer. Can't do it. Unless they say, and you know what? Come the day that they argue with me about it will be the day I call up the Titusville Sheriff's Department, ask for that motherfucker and say, hey, dude, remember that day we were out at the tower and you told me you couldn't? Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for a bitch to get slick. You know what? It's if you get the right thing recorded, man, you fuck a bitch up.
Yeah. Just, I think even if you just have any sort of recording devices running, it just freaks them out. Freaks out the police. It's like, why don't you turn that off and come over here, sit on my lap?
Here in Florida, I'm not playing with you. If an officer approaches you with the intent to arrest you, no. If they pull you over, let's say for something that could possibly get you arrested, not an ordinance violation, let's say you were jaywalking, or you have an open beer, or you appear to be smoking a joint, right? Things of that nature, okay? Yeah, you pull out your phone and start recording the cops, you are going to jail. Period. Yeah, at least here in Florida.
What do you mean? Why would it even matter?
It is now an ordinance here in Florida that you're not to record the cops with any recording device.
what is? How does that? Wait a second. Isn't
That's what I said. I said, what about all the cameras? Because when a cop pulls me over, if I'm not out in the middle of the cow patch, I am not going to stop and socialize with the cop unless I am at a place of business that I know have cameras.
that doesn't make any sense at all, because like you're just saying, within the city limits, there's going to be thousands of cameras from different angles.
That's
Not
what I'm
thousands,
saying.
excuse me. At least a
Yeah,
few hundred, a few cameras, you know?
Yep, you pull
So
out your
would they
cell
have to turn
phone,
all those
buddy.
off?
It's on. Yeah, you pull out a cell phone, buddy, you better pull out a gun.
I'm only saying this because on like a lot of these YouTube videos, I've been looking up, like, you know, cop abuse and stuff, and there's a lot of people have personal videos uploaded, and they all usually record, and I've got my camera out, and the police automatically has a different demeanor.
Yep. Yep.
But that is still weird, because, you know, even the cops themselves, they're recording this, right? A lot of the
Yeah.
vehicles and the police vehicles have cameras, and
They
even the
can
cops
record
wear
me.
cameras.
But I can't record them. And when they record you, they'll lose that video real quick. As soon as they do something wrong or call you stupid or get slick with you,
Yeah, the server wide.
yeah. I just run from them. I'm so sick and tired of them, I just haul ass. Especially if I'm clean. Like if all I got is a few joints on me, oh yeah, I'm running from them. Because they're going to run, they're going to get me, and they're going to search me, and I'm going to have nothing. I'm going to go to court, I'm going to be like, yeah, why was the officer arresting me? Case dismissed. Where's the video? Well, of course you ain't got one. I ran from. Yeah,
I've heard a few of those stories.
Yeah.
The cops losing their own footage. Like, yeah, we lost
Yeah.
it. We had it this morning, but it's lost now.
You would think that a judge in a case like that would be like, okay, this police department isn't fit to operate a police department. We're going to get a new sheriff. See, that shit don't happen.
Yeah, but it's not like that. They conveniently lose it, and
yeah,
that's
and when
okay.
you raise your hand and be
It's
like,
part
yeah,
of the job
but I would,
to lose it.
yeah, but if you're in court and you say, yeah, but I secretly recorded the situation too, I got a backup, not admissible in court. It's not legit. Yeah, can't use it. Yeah, and it's all these globers and these people that have their 9-to-5 jobs that say that the police are just like the best thing that ever happened since Jesus. Make me sick.
Look at all this ball earth programming. Gotta put it in there.
Yeah, you need to put. Yeah, you know what? It's probably NASA losing the moon footage that's inspiring all these police officers to lose their own footage, and they'll know that NASA got away with it. So why can't the police?
How can all that tax money? I mean, the whole point of the United States and NASA is NASA was supposed to do this gigantic, humongous, seriously the best thing that happened since Jesus Christ. And they just lost it. Just disappeared. Huh.
Yeah.
And nobody's asking a motherfucking question.
Mm-hmm.
Not even Congress.
Okay.
Could care
okay,
less
guys.
what happened to that.
We'll go again in 20. That's what they'll say.
Yeah, we'll go back up there in another 40 years when all the dead people or all the old people are dead, and we'll try it again. I wonder.
Yeah, that really does bug me a lot.
It bugs me a lot. And them damn ballers ain't even acknowledging it. It's like, dude, you do realize that NASA lost all the lunar footages, so you can just throw that out of your bag of evidence.
But look, they've got the ISS now. Dum,
Look at this picture's like right in front of them, and they don't see how at this time of year, late June, day should be nighttime by December
Yeah,
at the same time.
yeah.
How did they not see that? Like the day should be reversed.
Yeah, what happened to that extra day?
Don't worry, guys. Leap year is going to come around every 4 years. We'll fix that.
Yeah.
We'll give you that day back.
Right? That extra hour. Extra hour that you took from the beginning of the day, so sense, of course. This reminds me of a bunch of fucking whipped cream on some food. It's gonna make me hungry. I love whipped cream. It looks delicious.
How did we get to whipped cream?
Those clouds, did you see them?
Oh, the
Watch.
clouds. Oh, are we looking at cams? Let me see.
No. I lost the big picture I was just looking at.
The NASA footage. I got you.
It was
I
just
got
like
you.
the clouds over the mountains,
Yeah.
and like
I
it
think.
looked like a big, whipped cream on top. Let's see. Ooh. Let's look at fractals. Really, we got Creative Commons here? Because I had tried to show some cool imagery, like for some other stuff. Cool. And I got like visual strikes. Like, really now? Visual strikes?
Visual strikes. What the fuck is that?
For visual content?
Pictures?
Because copyright's not just audio. It could be visual or both. So you could turn off the audio and still get a strike.
Yeah.
For the visual content. Yep.
What a bunch of dicks.
Yep. Cool.
Maybe that's like how you protect yourself from Google. Like if Issa was here, that's what he'll tell us. These are rights, supposed to be helping you, so that Google can't, use your likeliness, your
Are you
voice.
trying to deny me due process of the law?
Right? Are you a priority security interest holder, or are you just a jackass? I got some very gruesome videos for Issa.
Oh, from your slaughter?
Yeah.
Ricky.
Since he doesn't do it, I was gonna be like, here. Here, sure. I'm hearing some music. I'm about to put a strike on you.
Nope. It's all Creative Commons.
So did you? I kind of looked at that thing. The what do you call the free? Forgot what it's called. Free copyright stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fair
Creative
usage.
Commons?
That's what it's called. Fair usage.
Oh, right. Okay.
So as long as you show something and or you narrate it in a way where it becomes something different than what it was originally intended for, it's fine. Then you won't get a copyright strike. But see, that's a problem with. Yeah, see, that's what I was getting at. That you still end up getting a copyright strike, even though it's under the fair usage policy that you could do that.
Yeah, and you can dispute it,
But
which
YouTube
I've done
doesn't.
and won a bunch of disputes, but they still make you jump through all these stupid hoops,
Yeah, they jump. Like they'll just be like, okay, you know what? We'll just give you a strike, and then now you can, fight for these, even though you weren't guilty to begin with.
Well, what happens when you get a strike?
Well, they monetize
enough.
your video. Well, it's not a strike yet. At first it's a copyright claim. I don't want people putting claims on my 8-hour videos. I'm not even making money off of them. I don't want anybody else to make money off of them. So,
Why wouldn't you though?
But then, what? Why wouldn't I?
Why wouldn't you let other people? Yeah, like monetize. Let's say if I used a video from YouTube and it was already monetized and I used it here.
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a
Well,
problem.
they wouldn't let you monetize
because
it.
it's
It would
being
just
monetized.
put ads on it, and it would just give the money to them.
Oh, okay. See how it goes. I have that ad blocker thing. I haven't seen an ad in like several years.
But because we're streaming, it's not just like I'm making a video. It's like a different thing. So like if you play music that's like on rotation in the radio stations, like that's like strike material. Or, you know, you play someone's content and they just want to be dicks. And you can't play my stuff because they're assholes. Then that's a strike.
Yeah, but what if that person has their shit monetized? Then you can play it, right? And it'll be okay.
No, just because it's monetized doesn't mean it's okay. You can still get a strike. That's what it is. I mean, there's just, you know, I'd rather not get into it, honestly. I just avoid it completely now.
It's a tricky subject, actually. It's just, you gotta look into a whole lot of things.
Well, because everybody has the wrong idea. They think, oh, only if you play like this amount of time, or only if you don't go over this amount of time. And it's not true. And it's always like when I'm sleeping, you know, that it pops up, and I'm like, damn it, really? I just like went to bed for like a minute, and somebody played something. And, you know, it's because they'll convince everyone else that they can get away with it and only do it for, you know, that whatever amount of time. And
yeah,
it's
that's
true.
actually
Like
a complete hoax.
it could be 10 seconds, and they'll, if they hear it and the bots catch it, it's, you know, they're gonna claim on it.
If a bot catches it, that's right, man.
Yep.
Fucking snitches.
And those bots aren't very smart.
Like, what happens when you play Antonio daytime video?
Nothing.
But it's monetized.
Is it monetized?
Like,
I
let's
thought
say if it was.
Then, if I played it, then they would monetize my video.
Okay, so in front of this 8-hour stream, there'll be like an ad, and there'll be a couple ads in between.
All intermittently on top of it, wherever.
Any money out of it?
Yeah.
Ah.
So like there might be like a pop-up, you know, right above the play bar. You keep having to like click on them to X out, and then, you know, you accidentally click one and it takes you to some ad somewhere. Probably not that big of a deal, since it's kind of like more of a radio setting. You know, you could just turn away from the computer and just not even see them. But the fact is that they're still going to get funding, you know, funds every time that video gets watched, or that part of the ad anyway. I don't really know how that works. If it's the whole entire video, or I think it's bullshit, because that's 8 hours of other people's work, you know, other people's time.
Clicks?
I think it's not the
like
clicks, the amount of time watched.
It counts like a one view or something, you know? Like one click, one view.
No, but the view only counts if it's like over a minute and 20 seconds. So you have to have some kind of like retention. But if you click the ad, that's different, you know, if you click the ad, not just see it. That's also more. I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know. I just know it counts as a view and whatnot.
It used to be that you could embed the live stream into a website, but they removed that feature now.
Well, they
Seems
disable
like any live event has to be viewed through YouTube. Yeah,
well, you can embed it, but after it's already posted, and if there's any copyright claims on it, they disable the embedding capability. So if I have any of my Creative Commons ones, it can be used or embedded, but if it's got a claim on it, they disable that. Yeah, there's just like, there's so many things, you know, about it. I mean, it's just whatever, you know.
And you just put another channel up, right?
Yep.
That's what ODD did.
One.
Can you get as many accounts as you want on one phone number?
They only let you do 2 per phone number. But you can get like fake phone numbers on the internet pretty easily.
I've got 10 accounts, 10 different numbers.
But they're all real numbers,
all
though,
that
right?
kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I know there's places you can get like temporary emails with like phone numbers and stuff attached to get SMS texts or whatever, like to verify. You know, there's always a way
If
around
you got
it.
a phone, if you have a phone, an email address, and you do not use YouTube, I'm going to be drilling you with questions for the next hour. And setting up a YouTube channel with my own password. That's what I do on my, because a lot of people that I know don't even mess around on YouTube. They got a phone, email, on Facebook all the time. I'm like, dude, let me get that.
Yeah, I like having my own number, attached to the YouTube account because I can, like if I have other administrators on it, I can get real-time alerts, on like if they need to get access, it'll my phone is like, someone's trying to access your account, is that you? And I can click yes, and like they can get in. You know what I mean? Like it's useful to have it handy and not have to keep plugging in.
So cool.
Yeah, this is awesome.
But I was thinking about taking a different approach. The fuck you approach, and just make a different account, like make a new channel every day until it gets banned.
That's cool. Yeah, a lot of the videos on the web archive can be uploaded by anyone, so you kind of don't really know if the video that got uploaded is in the public domain. Because, I mean, there was like live concert Bjork stuff that was there, and they were like flagging me as I was airing it. Like, take this down or stop playing it, or, like, we'll shut your channel down kind of thing. So I'd rather just use YouTube's own, you guys approved it. That's right there. You can't take that back. So. Anyway, the join link is in the description, if y'all didn't know that. I'm going to find something else to play.
Hey, didn't 9/11 already pass?
Yeah.
Oops.
It's the 14th.
What's today's date?
Today's the 14th? Yeah. You forgot! Just kidding.
Damn it. I was just kind of busy.
I even had a 9/11 show and everything.
No wonder. You know what? I was thinking there was like all 3 shows on Flat Earth were like 9/11 stuff on their title.
Yeah, they copied me. They always do.
I mean, now it just hit me.
You're all, now I get it. Because it was 9/11.
Yep, it's like the light bulb just went off.
And still nobody talks about Building 7 on the news. Or out in the world out there. Yeah,
Do you know how many buildings there were altogether?
7.
There were 7 buildings altogether? For the New York Trade Center or whatever?
Yeah, the first 2, towers 1 and 2, and the ones that populated around it, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 was that one to the side, the big one that fell.
And
But
out of 7 buildings, 4 of them fell? Or
like
4 of them are no longer there now?
well, none of them are there. Well, technically, all of them fell.
Not all of them fell.
Because they redid all of them, didn't they? Like they just redid the whole square. I don't think they left any part. I mean, why would they leave like these old defunct buildings if they're gonna put up all these beautiful ones in tribute to, you know, whatever.
But originally, I think only 4 of them fell, right? And then the rest they took down.
I think there was only, let's see, probably 3 and 4 gotten really damaged. I think 5 and 6 were definitely damaged, and 7, and then 1 and 2. So 5 of the 7, but they technically were all brought down. So
Like I see some crazy stuff about the other buildings that we don't talk about. You know, I'll talk about the 2 towers, but like you said, you know how building 7 fell. That was kind of a weird thing that it was kind of not falling, and it was reported as falling on the BBC News, and then like minutes later it fell or something. So same with building 6. I don't think it got any coverage at all. And
no,
that
they
one's
did.
not
None of
there.
them
Like
got in.
half of
Yeah,
it was
they
gone.
didn't. Nobody talks about them. Not even building 7.
And it's
Nobody.
not even mentioned. Yeah, even building 7 is not even mentioned in the official 9/11 report. I don't know why not. They should have. Maybe it's like it's not the Twin Towers, man. Everything else is, you know, obsolete. Are you with the no planes idea, or are you going with the planes idea?
You know, I always find when there's, you know, these extreme sides to quote unquote truth, it's always somewhere in the middle. So I think maybe there was one plane and not another. You know, droney, whatever. One might have been fake, the other one not. But something definitely hit. Something. What that was, I don't know. I didn't see it happen.
Yeah.
Anywho. Maybe we can find some 9/11 Creative Commons stuff to play. Because, you know, that topic never gets old.
"9/11 is the gateway drug to conspiracy."
For me, it was vaccines.
For me, it was, I just naturally believe that people lie.
Yeah.
Smashing the lies with 9/11 Truth. I really like this channel.
That the 9/11 Suspects video series is, we'll say, finished for now. I think complete would be the wrong word. Videos that I created in the run-up to this year. I hope you've seen the playlist. You can go and access it directly. And If you appreciate these videos, please share them with others. That is the way to spread awareness and spread the word. To make it even easier, I've created episode 311 of the Corporate Report podcast, in which I compiled the audio of those 6 videos, along with a little introduction and a conclusion, just explaining the premise of this podcast, in case it wasn't clear. These are not, of course, the people that I think are the masterminds of the operational details of 9/11, but these are people who are documentably and provably involved in committee work to bring them up, and places where a district attorney or anyone who is actually interested in the prosecution of the crimes of 9/11 begin. And of course, there are many, many more people that we could add to this list, but these are the 6 that I selected this time. Anyway, if you do, again, appreciate all of this, I mean, all of the research that went into the writing of this, literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of links and source documents, all here, complete transcript, then please, again, do share this work around. And I think they've already started to see some of the fruits of that labor coming to fruition. We saw with the 9/11 suspects Christine Todd Whitman video, where it's known in the video that where is it? She has not only never conceded guilt or even expressed sorrow for the ongoing sickness and deaths that her actions helped bring about, she has repeatedly defended the actions that reflect the EPA in general, which was a true statement at the time that I wrote it, at the time I recorded it, at the time that we published it. But interestingly enough, we have Corporate Report member section saying, hey, she apologized. Isn't that big of her? Now she can bring back the dead. And yes, if you go and look into it, Whitman admits she was wrong to call Ground Zero air safe after 9/11 attacks, report says, which sounds like a borderline apology. It's actually a non-apology apology. Whatever we got wrong, we should acknowledge, and people should be helped. I'm very sorry that people are sick. Oh, isn't that nice? And I'm very sorry that people are dying. And if the EPA and I in any way contributed to that, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you contributed. Of course, she's ultimately just saying, oh, the scientists did not lie. They just passed on bad information. The information they had at the time, blah, blah, blah. So she's defending herself in the EPA, even in this non-apology apology. No. Good to know anyway, and an interesting development. So perhaps this series again is already starting to bear fruits. If people want to pass this along to some of the other suspects, Zelikow or Bear or some of these people, it'd be interesting to get some more responses to these videos. But good to know that activism is still happening. Sad to see that in the post 9/11 world that is apparently illegal. We have this from activistpost.com. Journalists swarmed by cops arrested for asking people about Tower 7 on 9/11. We have Bob Tuskin here outside of a Florida Gators game, set up to do a video that he's done before, just the Building 7 challenge, showing people the demolition of World Trade Center Building 7, asking them to describe it and saying, hey, did you know this happened on 9/11? Just waking people up that way. And for that labor, he ends up getting arrested this year because apparently one of the mind-washed, brainwashed people that he was showing this to was so offended that he was showing the WTC 7 arrest that he called the cops, and they came over and dutifully arrested him for exercising his free speech in the land of the free, so home of the brave. So unfortunately, this is the spot we've arrived in, and really no surprise, I think, to people who've been following this information for a long time. But again, my hat's off to people like Bob Tuskin who are out there spreading awareness and well, taking the hits as they come, because unfortunately, again, a lot of people are brainwashed. That's why we need to spread this information further. There needs to be more people like Bob Tuskin out there, people like him. If you appreciate the work, then I of course do appreciate your support. It is what makes this website possible. So on that note, I've added a Patreon, patreon.com/corporate report, where you can make a monthly pledge of as little as a month, and for that you will you can start leaving and access the weekly subscriber newsletter. The details are here at Patreon. And more important, that today, James signing off.
I don't know what that was. The Corbet report.
Hello. Over here.
Why are you dressed like a chicken, Rob?
Did I not change my speakers over this whole time? God damn it, I hate it when I do that. So that's just, yeah, the Corbett report. I thought I had switched my mic over. I posted the link in the chat. I guess I could put it in Turtle 1. Here somewhere.
Hey, anyone here seen the X-Men movie? Or likes the X-Men movies?
Yeah, I do.
You
I
do?
watch all of them, yeah.
Have you seen the latest one?
So I stopped going to the movies, but which one is it?
It's called Apocalypse.
What's it?
X-Men Apocalypse.
Did you see it already?
I saw a bootleg version of it of some guy
Nice.
holding a handycam in a theater, and he posted it on the internet. So I guess I was at the theater when I saw it, you know?
Funny. Popcorn. That is a big mofo tree, Rob.
The reason why I'm asking is because they love to bring up the Nazis and the Auschwitz camp, all that World War II history.
Yeah, well, yeah, because that's where Magneto, I guess, was, born.
Right. And there's other people that are kind of like that have like tattoos on their arms, like they had in Auschwitz or whatever.
Oh, the tattoo, the barcodes.
But if you, yeah, the barcodes.
Or,
But if
just
you
numbers.
think it was like a, if you think the hoax, what if you think the Holocaust was a hoax? You know, does X-Men get ruined for you?
No. Because he very well could have been a child separated from his mom. I don't know. I didn't see this one, though. I don't know what they're... I don't have a problem, like, separating fantasy from reality. I don't, like, lament space not being there. I could still watch Star Trek perfectly fine. Of course. And enjoy them completely.
I see.
Yeah.
So last night when I was watching the X-Men thing, I kept on seeing all the imagery. You know, it was like Russian Vids was inside my head. You know.
You can see here that
I
there's a
was seeing
flat
pyramids everywhere, and
the clock is a flat Earth map. We need David here for that. So you were just seeing the imagery everywhere, huh? So was that ruined for you? Or
yeah,
you
I'm gonna.
these things now.
Like, it just made me like. Otherwise, I'd be like really focused into the movie, right? Be enjoying the movie. But now with the imageries, I'm thinking about other shit too.
So you're not. It took the immersion away. The immersion quality.
Like if it was before I had known about all the symbolisms and shit, I wouldn't have even cared. It was like, oh, cool, pyramid, oh, octagon, pentagon, okay. And also, X-Men is an evolutionary thing too, like science fiction wise.
I'm a mutant.
Say again?
Mutant. A genetic mutant.
You're a mutant.
Mm-hmm.
What were you before? You were just a woman. Now you're.
No. I was born without wisdom teeth.
Not. Oh, you were. You. What's that?
I was born without wisdom teeth.
What? Well, aren't we all?
No, that's why they have to get them removed.
Wait, people are born with wisdom teeth?
Yeah, and you have to get them removed because your mouth is too small.
Yeah.
So
You
why
were
did
born
God
with
give them
wisdom
to
teeth?
us?
Our jaws used to be bigger, but we just turned into a bunch of tit-sucking pussies. I guess, I don't know.
That makes sense.
You know, you don't need them anymore. You're not chewing branches and bones, you know, from big animals.
All right, I'm out of here. Y'all take it easy.
All right, have a good day.
See you later, Steven.
Yeah, so you have your wisdom teeth. Are they grown in? Did you have to have them pulled, or are they just not even coming out? You know? Hello? Can you hear me? Healthy, can you hear me?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can now.
Sorry about that, but I gotta get going here.
All right.
Gotta, yeah. Gotta go do stuff in real life a little bit. I'll be back later.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
Have a good night. Rest.
I will try.
See you later, Rob. All right.
Good morning, rebels and FREECHANers. Well, James had shared some videos that I could play, and I forgot about them. Let's see if I saved them. Should have. not. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
It's okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I guess I was having mic problems. Too much switching back and forth, I think. Hi, Nick. Welcome.
Hi, Vet.
How's it going?
Not too bad. Just woke up like 10 minutes ago. I saw the
Oh,
friend guy on his own, so I thought I'd jump on. But now
oh, nice. Yeah.
I couldn't hear you talking when I was on watching the YouTube. Or you just must have just spoke while I joined.
Oh, yeah. I guess my mute was either on or like it wouldn't unmute itself, and I didn't realize nobody could hear me, unfortunately. But it's early morning, you know. It's time for me to go to bed.
Huh.
What time is it by you?
It's 4:20 a.m. 4:20. It's 4:19. It's 4:20.
And you're still awake?
Yeah, always.
You know that I'm like you because sometimes I go to bed at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the night. So it's a problem when you are talking with people. They are on the other side from the pizza.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's the pizza, that's for sure. And thank you for mentioning pizza this early. Now I'm hungry.
So, and what's the topic? I saw that there was an amazing presentation about Hill Harry.
Yeah. Could you hear that part? I don't know.
I saw the different pictures, but I have no sounds.
Oh, it's really good. I was actually going to just share the link. So there's, they're showing how she's been using a body double and speculation, I guess, about her health condition, pretty much confirming that she's got Parkinson's. But there's a little cliffhanger at the end of it, and they're saying that she might actually be dead already. There was like a newscast that actually kind of announced it, but then they edited it and took it out. So I'm not sure, and of course people haven't seen her. And
Yeah, I have also some technical problems because I bought a new computer last week. It was Thursday for the for the configuration 24 hours, and it's still not okay because it's a fucking Windows 10 PC. I could buy a Windows 7. It doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But I'm searching for a license of Windows 7 to put on this BB thing.
Yeah, I feel your pain.
It's horrible.
I was helping my mom troubleshoot, and I've been having network problems myself. And I finally just connected her computer with a Cat5 cable, just a direct connect to the internet. And all of a sudden, like, the printer stops working. I didn't even touch it. It's like an HP wireless also. And the damn thing, I could not get it to work yesterday. I like uninstalled it, I reinstalled it. It was just such a pain in the butt. And it's like, why does everything have to be so complicated?
That's a good question. I love the new technologies when it works.
Right. But they really make you jump through hoops, and it's like you can never just have like a some kind of tech job, or like helping someone troubleshoot some tech problem. It always takes hours because it's always this process.
And I've also in the house a spirit they loves playing with the mouse, with my connection, with the lights, with my cats. But well, it doesn't disturb me really, not really. I know that he is here since maybe 200 or 300 years. This house is more than 350 years old.
The house is 350 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
With big walls.
I have the big walls, yeah.
you have a very, very poor mobile phone connection. If you go outside, all the cows around here, the village, has a perfect reception. In the houses, it's maybe one or two.
Right.
You have to go outside to give a call if you want to use your mobile phone.
Otherwise, you can use your computer to call people. I have a nice program. It calls Void Buster. Maybe you know it.
No, I'm not familiar with that one actually.
Void Buster. I pay for that maybe $15 for 6 months. And I give and I call worldwide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and for some countries, it's for free during 3 months. The 3 first months it's for free, and after that, you see your account is going down. You know this the countdown. But
yeah, I think WhatsApp. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And when you are calling, you see that it costs you 1 cent the minute.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really make too many international calls, so I'm not sure because all my relatives that are international, we either communicate on Facebook now or on Skype, and I think for phone calls, like there's an app called Line app for your phone, and I know it's really big internationally because I think you can do like the free phone calls on it.
I prefer to use this system because by Skype you have always to recharge your account. With this one, you do it once for 6 months and you're okay. And also you have a view on all the historic of your calls, what time, the duration.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
As well for the SMS. SMS is the same. You've got all the historic in one click. All my phone numbers are there in this program. I put it in the chat room. VoIP.
Oh, okay.
It's you can charging it in maximum 2 minutes. Installation is very easy, and after that you have to go on your account to put some money on. So they're gonna open a window from your bank, and you have to use maybe you know those systems for home banking.
Oh, I see.
You put your Visa card or MasterCard in it, and then they give you the numbers you have to type, and after that, in the 30 seconds later, your account is recharged.
Oh, okay.
It's very fast. It's very easy to use, and it's amazing. The quality of the phone calls is perfect. Perfect.
That's good. Oh, we lost Nick. I think he wanted to talk to you, but I hope he comes back.
And where do you live?
In New Mexico, in the United States.
Yes, yes, remember. Sorry, Yvette.
Yes.
Yep. Yvette.
That's me out there in chat in the on the YouTube page.
Yes, yesterday I was coming watching, but I was trying to do something. I put my first video online on YouTube.
Oh, did you? All right. Good job. Congratulations.
4 hours.
Wow.
Was a fight, 4 hours fight for that.
I'll check it out.
It was just for a joke because I sent to a friend of mine in Quebec some small movie parts from a kitchen recipe. So if you go on my channel on YouTube, you're gonna see I put just one video, but I speak French there. Maybe I have to make another one in English or in another languages with subtitles maybe.
I'll share your channel out in chat.
Wait a minute. Open the window. But it's not easy when you don't know how you have to do.
Oh, I know. Everything's a learning process, isn't it? But then pretty soon you'll be a pro.
That's the chat. I see. It's the chat room. The link that you give here.
Yeah, I posted the link there on the inside.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it in a separate page.
Yeah, it'll pop up. This is the one that displays on the YouTube page alongside the video.
Mm-hmm.
While it's streaming.
But you can also do another thing. If you, when you are into a Hangout, I learned that 2 weeks ago, and you have this one page for your Hangout, and if you want to have a view on chat room, you have to open the YouTube page. So, but in the YouTube page, you can cut it. Not the YouTube page, the chat room, you can cut it and put it in a separate window, and you give the size you want.
Right, that's the link that I posted there
so
on the
you don't have
inside
to-
group chat. But I gave you a direct link to the pop-up.
Oh yeah, so you have to change all the time to between the two pages to want to see what the people are talking about.
Yeah, so the one where you typed VoIP Connect, I posted the link right under that.
Yeah, VoIP Connect. That's the thing I use. It's also called VoIP Buster.
Oh, okay.
If you type one of those names into internet, you're gonna see you came directly on the website, and I think it's an American site, but you can choose all the languages you want. And also,
Beyond Flat is out there in the chat. Come on in. Never again. What happened? I'm not sure what happened.
oh, and it's hot weather here. 3 days that we have 29 to 30 degree Celsius. That means over 85 Fahrenheit.
I know it's been 74-ish here, and it's like 42 here.
Yeah, we had 40 degrees 2 years ago. 43 degrees Celsius here was to be dead. Drinking ventilators all in all the places, in all corner of the house to have fresh air. The cats, they were sleeping 22 hours a day. Now they are so quiet. I see one there on the window. The sun is going more to the center of the pizza now. It's 12:13 here. So
Were you able to open that pop-up chat to see without the YouTube video? That link that I posted?
The last one I opened, which is that? That was before. Chat. Yeah, this is open by me.
Oh, okay.
In the chat room, I see that Rob is there. You are there too with your nice key. Hand is there. I don't know his first name.
Peter.
Peter. Okay. Peter. John Watson. Aeon Atom. But the problem with the chat room, you never know on what time they are putting the comments. So sometimes,
yeah, it's not. It should have a timestamp, shouldn't it? They're pretty recent though. I mean, these are all within the past, I'd say, hour.
I don't know if is there a function to add to view that, but
yeah, no, there isn't. It's kind of.
Because sometimes there are people, they are talking together in the chat room, but there comes 4 or 5 or 6 commentary between the first the question and the answer.
Yeah, it's a skill to know how to go over it and just pick the answers that apply.
And the discussion just start a bit to be crazy. So what do you understand? What do you answer me? I can't understand what you said. But
yeah,
another guy that was posting a question for someone else. So okay, I'm gonna put a bit more light here in the living room. Voilà. Here comes the sun.
comes the sun.
Da, 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 da. Here's comes the sun. I say, it's all right. Yeah, that was the music that I had in my milk bottle when I was a child, a little child.
Nice.
I'm from the 60s.
Nice, lovely music. I'm from the 70s.
No, from that. That's why my nickname is Bubbles B62. Born in 62.
Not for a B-62 bomber.
No, that was when I was playing tennis.
Ah, I see.
I was a really bomber.
Well, it seems like a little slow right now. We have 10 viewers, but only 2 people are chatting and 2 people up here. And I need to get to bed. If anybody out there wants to jump on the panel, join links in the description. I would like to, I guess, play the rest of this video. It's almost done. I think it's pretty interesting. We can use it as a topic of conversation about is Hillary dead? Kind of.
It was a question because if you see in the world, in all countries, there are people, they have some twins. And
yeah, the body doubles.
Yeah, doubles or triple or more, much more. You got one Gaddafi, no, not Gaddafi. Saddam Hussein has a 10, maybe 10 double.
Mm-hmm.
And if you see the pics from this thing, they want to be president. I don't want to give a qualification after for what I'm thinking about her.
Right.
Yeah. You when you watch the picture, you say, "Oh, there is a problem." Is that the same? Is that a twin? Is that a copy? Is that an avatar of maybe a clone?
I think they're just body doubles that people that they can find that resemble them really closely. Then they make them up.
When you know that all those people are from the actor studio.
Mm-hmm.
So they have the same professors and the same teachers and
right. And selected, yeah, they could very well be clones, I suppose. I mean, I guess they look just different enough.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna switch my mic over.
Okay, I think that I'm gonna leave the room here and try to get a bit further in my initiation with Windows 10.
Okay, well, good luck with your.
It's a fight from each instant and each day.
Right. Well, check back in. People are still waking up on this side, and I'm sure they'll be popping in and joining shortly.
So, Yvette, big kisses from Belgium.
Okay.
I wish you the best. I wish you a good night. Go to sleep.
All right.
Bye there.
Bye-bye.
The most egregious fraud against the American public by using a body double, by lying about her health condition. I can't believe that the RNC has not filed a lawsuit in federal court demanding medical evaluation and records from a neurologist, from anybody they could think of. It's criminal This woman is perpetrating a criminal fraud against the American public and the American governmental constitutional way of life.
The reports I have are that the DNC is having an emergency meeting, even as we speak, to determine her successor, whom I confidently predict will be Smiling Joe Biden.
Oh, yeah, Smiling Joe, no question. Sure, they'll plug him right in there. That's why he's been so damn quiet. He's been very, very quiet. He must have suspected that this was going to happen or could have happened. And I'm not sure that Hillary didn't know that she's on borrowed time, the Parkinson's or the dementia, whichever it is. Alzheimer's, some people speculate Alzheimer's, is not getting to the point where she will not be able to function. I think that's underlying some of her recent fundraising with her mega-rich elitist friends. That she's got a fetish about scoring money. That's what they're all about, the Clintons. It's the most outrageous criminal syndicate in American political history, the Clinton Foundation.
There's an absolutely sensational article about this, which I have subtitled, or others, Hillary, miraculous recovery or the incredible shrinking medical recovery. Because, listen, it's got these same photographs of the comparison. It's saying the Hillary body double weighs less than Hillary. It's impossible to lose that much weight in just a couple of hours. I noticed the hips and thighs are different. The Hillary body double looks 10 years younger than the one who collapsed earlier at the 9/11 ceremony. The finger and nose controversy, they just don't match. Hillary hardly ever carried her own purse. She had someone carry it for her, and now she's carrying it on the wrong shoulder. Her famous handler, medic team, and Secret Service entourage missing when she reemerged. If she was rushed to a hospital because she was in critical, that's where they would be, not at Chelsea Clinton's apartment, except we now know there's a medical care facility in the same building.
How did you find that out? And the name of this facility again?
Oh, I have this wonderful source who started. She was the first who spotted to me. Listen, Preston James brought it up last night that he thought that they might have used a double, and this woman confirmed it in spades and sent me all these photographs of Hillary of her double with Jay Leno, with John Voight, with a whole bunch of other doubles, including one for Bill and one for Chelsea, and even a photograph of her with Hillary Clinton herself.
Yeah, I thank you. I used all those in a story I wrote up this morning, and
she went to the building to confirm the height difference. And she is an indefatigable researcher and discovered that the medical facility was at the same address.
What's the name of that facility?
Let's see. It's Metro Care. Metro Care Home Service Incorporated. Metro Care Home Service, SVC is abbreviated, Home Service. 21 East 26th Street on the 4th floor, same building. It's a brilliant arrangement, you know. Because nobody generally is aware that the facility is even there.
Well, I watched that video. In fact, we both did over and over again. And I mentioned last hour, if you'll notice, and watching Hillary's lower legs, they are literally dragging her across the pavement into that van. The top of her shins and the top of her foot, her toes are pressed down on the ground. Her knee has collapsed. She was dead meat when they put her in that van. I'm telling you, and you know this, Jim, you've watched. The woman was not conscious at all. And 3 adults couldn't hold her. The big African-American guy who was on the left side lunged in there when she started to go to the pavement. They couldn't hold her. And I think he might have stopped it. And then they picked her up and dragged her in there and got the hell out of there, leaving her shoe behind.
Now, there's this famous double of Hillary, who is the one who, it has been suggested to me, was the double here, named Teresa Barnwell. The question is whether this is the Teresa that we know from the past or someone else. She joined Lip Sync Battle Live today as Hillary impersonator, but posted on Twitter that she'd been in L.A. and wasn't the one who came out. So they may have yet another double. I mean, Saddam Hussein had like a dozen. For Hillary,
Winston Churchill had 5 that could pass for him.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, Jeff. This is a wonderful article with all kinds of photographs. Here's what else this article reports that doesn't make sense. They claimed Hillary was not taken to a hospital after she collapsed yesterday, where she was thrown into the back seat like a side of beef. A senior law enforcement officer told the Daily Beast. Why would you take a sick person who just collapsed to her daughter's apartment when you should be taking her straight to the hospital? Why would you allow someone sick who just collapsed to reemerge in public on a street fully recovered 2 hours after her medical episode when she should be in a complete bed rest? If she has pneumonia, as her doctor said, why would they let her talk to a little girl who could become infected? Why did they allow her to leave without her famous handler, who usually medic team and Secret Service? If Hillary fully recovered 2 hours after she collapsed, why announce later she is recovering in her New York house and cancel her California fundraising trip? If Hillary's medical issue is just another case of pneumonia, then there's no need for the Democratic Party to have an emergency meeting and consider a replacement for her.
Right.
The event her health forces are out of the race. They would only consider replacing Hillary if they know she has a very serious health condition or, I would add, is already dead.
That is a possibility. It is a possibility. Let me tell you what I found with MetroCare. Their homepage has the address and everything. It says, note, this facility is closed or has merged with another facility. Information here is maintained for historical purposes only.
What that means is the Clintons bought it.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, for her own private facility.
The Clinton Foundation bought it.
Yeah, Clinton Foundation bought it. I mean, look, they got 35 million from Australia.
That's where she's been going for medical treatment, not a hospital.
Yeah.
Bought their own clinic.
Clinton Foundation got 35 mil from Australia alone for the Department of State to support the TPP, which is going to benefit Australia immensely. 35 mil. Well, what's it going to run to? You know, they have got so much money through this Clinton Foundation thing.
$2 billion has gone through the Clinton Foundation. Some say 3. Who knows? Who knows? Here's another one for all of you out there who may not have heard this. Now, I want to ask you, New York is the #1 media market in America. WABC TV is one of the top stations in New York, if not the top.
Huge.
All right. Here is the 11 o'clock newscast from last night, WABC TV. Now, as I play this for you, I want to ask you all, almost rhetorically, would WABC TV make a monumental mistake like you're about to hear? Take a listen.
Pennsylvania. Good evening, everyone. I'm Sandra Wilson. And I'm George Torres. We begin with the breaking news about Hillary Clinton's death.
Did you hear that? I'll play it again for you.
Breaking news about Hillary Clinton's death.
I'm Sandra Wilson. And I'm George Torres. We begin with the breaking news about Hillary Clinton's death.
Okay, that's last night on WABC TV, New York. I am told that the archive of that program has been edited and that particular little section is gone. What did WABC TV know? Who told WABC TV? What did they find out? Did they just make a mistake? I don't think so. I was in television news for a long time. They don't make mistakes of that magnitude. That's a huge story. Anybody with a brain would have checked that and double-checked it before daring to put it on a teleprompter for an anchor to read. So that's why we say, if she is still alive. This was a major issue on a huge television station in the #1 market in America. And it was broadcast last night. So there you go.
Absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Jay Sermopoulos for DC Clothesline reports that Emmy Award-winning journalist David Schuster, formerly with MSNBC, noted in a social media post that Democratic Party operatives are in the process of planning a crisis summit to discuss alternatives to Clinton. The ongoing media speculation about potentially serious health issues was confirmed with this latest incident. A Democratic operative reportedly told Schuster that the combination of the shocking footage of Clinton collapsing at the 9/11 memorial, along with her campaigns hiding the fact that she had been suffering from pneumonia, so they say, for the past 3 days, represented, quote, uncharted political territory. However, aside from strategizing, the DNC does not technically have the ability to replace Clinton according to party bylaws. And we'll come back to that in just a minute. He goes on to say, we can make contingencies, we can argue, we can plead with Hillary Clinton, but DNC bylaws are clear. Her nominee status is now totally up to her, a top Democrat told Schuster. Additionally, top Democratic strategists and Hillary advisors have expressed serious concerns that the dramatic collapse footage, in concert with her campaign's continued attempts to hide her health woes, was a potentially massive game changer. I would again ask the question to the viewers of the Next News Network. Do you believe that there's a point where Hillary's health gets to be so bad that she herself withdraws on her own accord from the race? Do you think that that is something that is possible? I mean, anything is possible. But in my opinion, this woman is not letting go of this race if she can help it. I don't think she will withdraw from the race unless she passes away. And I don't want that to happen. I hope that Hillary gets better. I don't wish her ill will. I want her to get better. I, quite frankly, feel sorry for this woman because she cannot step back and realize that everything is finally catching up with her. The evil, the corruption, the gangster behavior by her and her husband over the many years that they've had this political dynasty in play. And she cannot let go of that desire that this race for president that she has wanted since she was in high school or maybe before. She will die trying to get there, in my opinion. What do you think? Folks, I am Link Austin. I'm sitting in for Gary Franchi, who is currently with his wife at the hospital right now. They're about to welcome a new baby boy into this world. So please join me in congratulating the Franchis on the new addition to their family. Very exciting stuff. Thanks for joining us for this report. If you're new to the Next News Network, please be sure to